Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. We like to know where your passion for music came from. A certain live performance inspire, or an album you heard inspire to pick up an instrument, or was something that was just natural for you as a child? Let's start with you, Tim.
Yeah, I think the first album I ever bought was Meteora by Linkin Park. I really liked Faint when I heard it on the radio, and that kind of like, I guess, spurned my love for, rock music. And then I grew up listening to classic rock like Led Zeppelin, Kiss, and, like Guns N' Roses with my parents. So a lot of those bands are more guitar driven, like, rock based things. So once middle school hit and I found Guitar Hero and like AFI, that kind of inspired me to pick up a guitar and just, go out to Guitar Center and buy the crappiest $100, guitar they had. So started learning some Blink-182 songs. Ramones was a really big influence for me too, just because of how simple the songs were. They only use like 3 chords predominantly. So grew up doing that, and then eventually started trying out, harder things, and just, expanding my horizons to like different genres like blues and stuff like that. So, but I think it all started with like, Linkin Park and just kind of my parents' background in classical rock. So
Very cool. Travis, what about you?
I have a sister who's about 6 years older than me, and she was actually a theater performance major and did theater all through school and stuff. So I grew up very involved in like musicals, and she was in color guards and marching band. But my first concert, I actually looked it up last night. It was July 2009. I went and saw the Green Day 21st Century Breakdown tour. I know I just dated myself. But we had floor tickets. I'm like 12 years old. It's in the arena where the Nashville Predators play, so it's a 20,000 cap arena. And, I was so sold. I saw Billy Joel present the crucified kid on stage, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I have to do this. So I talked to my uncle, and he gave me one of his old beater drum sets. And it just kind of all started from there with Probably All the Small Things was like the song that I wanted to learn how to play because there was a Blink-182 concert. And just got inspired by playing music in school. I played music all through school. I was a big quote-unquote band nerd. Still am.
That's awesome. It's okay. I'm gonna date myself right now. So, my passion for music came when I was 11 years old in 1991. I saw "Smells Like Teen Spirit" on MTV, and I became obsessed with Nirvana and music ever since then. So that kind of leads me into your new single, Cobain. I guess is this song? Is this song have something to do with Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, or?
I wish John was here. He's the better one to answer
Yeah,
this.
I know.
So there is a little bit of obviously a nod to Nirvana, and that song started out as much more of just like, this song sounds like a Nirvana song, and we tried to turn it into our own thing. Cobain was like not the original title. I don't even remember what it was. But ultimately we decided that it would kind of piss people a little bit off if we called it Cobain, because they'd think we were like, I don't know, desecrating the name or something. But we like Nirvana, and we enjoy the story, and I think it plays more into like that theme of get famous quick, it all goes south, and you end up with your life in a less than desirable place. So I think that's what Cobain's more about.
Gotcha. I really like the special guest you got on it, Honey Revenge. How'd you find her?
Devin's a good friend of ours who lives in like LA. And when we went out to record we had started this song before the pandemic and didn't really get it finished. So we went out like last October to finish it up. And ended up hanging out with her one night and just, I don't know, she showed us a couple of her band's upcoming demos and everything. And we just really liked her voice, and we had been toying with the idea of adding like a female, vocal feature to the second verse of that song, just because it's written in the perspective of like a female. So we were like, all right, this actually makes sense, and we just really liked her voice and thought it fit, so we just called her up the next day and was like, hey, you want to come over and like rip this real quick, and she did, and I think it turned out really well. So it just was a really natural fit, thankfully.
Yeah, it's great. I love the song. So you have another track that's so basically Cobain is coming off. It's a single, but you got part of the EP coming up called "Lie Your Way Out," which comes out March 25th. You have another track from there called "Lie Your Way Out." It's really awesome. I love the riffs in there. I guess talk about the writing process for that song.
Yeah, for that one's more like I feel like a throwback, like Telltale song per se. It's like a little bit more darker, like thematically we're discussing a bit heavier topics, which I'll let Travis dive into. But that song we didn't start until that was when we wrote like at the very end of our recording session, and we just were looking for, I don't know, I'm trying to think of this. We pulled influence from a certain song, but I can't remember what it was. But it just kind of came together naturally, and then we had one of our friends play the solo over the bridge part of it at the end too, and it just kind of tied it all together. Brett Chiodo used to play like guitar. He plays guitar in this band called Commonwealth, and then he played in Movements at the beginning of their band. So it just, I don't know, it just made sense. He was in town, and we were like, that's one of our good friends, so we're like, do it. Nice. So
yeah, it was a Demi Lovato song. I couldn't tell you which one, but that was the song that John was like, yo, this has these elements to it. What if we did a Telltale song with these elements?
Wow. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Never would have guessed that.
Right.
Well, you also got Slow Burn from that. I guess you've already released that as a single too. The music video is pretty awesome, where you guys are like performing in like a junkyard thing. Where did you guys shoot the music video for that?
Pennsylvania somewhere.
Right? Yeah, it was near Hanover, Pennsylvania, where they make the Snyder's pretzels. You've had those before, but yeah, it was like in this junkyard. It was literally like in the middle of nowhere. Our producer, like for that one, Bradley Adam, had just been calling around to different junkyards. He lives in Baltimore, I think, so he just called around to like the closest like places within 3 hours of him, and we were like, yeah, we'll meet up wherever you can get it. So he found this really rural junkyard. We show up to the thing, and we're like, hey, we're here to shoot the video, and the guy's like, what video? And we're like, the video, like we're the band who's gonna like play a song in your like junkyard. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, just go set up wherever you want, we don't care. And the guy lived like across the street from the junkyard on top of a hill, so they were like sitting out front of their porch like watching us the whole time. So that was like kind of interesting, but they let us have free reign of this junkyard, and obviously we set up on top of like a car and like all this other weird stuff. So yeah, they didn't like make any rules or anything, so it was pretty laid back, but
it was sick.
It was really hot too.
Oh my God.
Well, Travis, speaking of sick, I mean, the drums in that song are great. As a former drummer, I was really impressed. So I was talking about like the drums in the
Thank you. So yeah, actually that song started off, we were sitting in the studio, we were kind of coming to the end of one idea, and I said, well, I've had this drum thing for a while, and it's that opening drum beat that you hear, and I've been playing that since I was probably 14, maybe younger than that. It was a variation of a drumline cadence or something like that I just applied to the drum set for fun, and here I am 10 years later. I finally got to use it in a song. But yeah, I wanted to go nuts. I've always tried to restrain and play more in the pocket with a lot of the Telltale songs. But Slow Burn was, I went for it. And I really like that song. I'd say that one and Lie Your Way Out are my two favorites to play, actually like play the drums for on this new EP.
Very cool. All right, well, guys, what's the future hold? I mean, you got the EP coming out. Is there tours, new music videos, anything like that?
Yeah, we're currently working on some tours for like later in the year. We have a festival appearance with like Knuckle Puck and like Can't Swim in like August. So yeah, we're just kind of like lining up some support runs and everything, and then just working on the rollout for this record and kind of see where it takes us, and trying to learn how TikTok works. Apparently that's important. So working on
Yeah.
that.
It's hard. I've seen some bands come up with some creative stuff, but like I couldn't think of it as stuff though. It's like, you know, for TikTok. So
We
it's a
can't
whole
either.
different- Yeah.
So we're just doing our best. But yeah, other than that, just gonna try and be on the road as much as possible. I know we'll probably play down in Orlando at some point. That's like a
Oh,
second home for
cool.
us.
I hope you make it down here. I'll definitely be there. So
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll we've Travis's sister lives in Orlando, so we're
Okay.
always trying to go down there. So good times.
well, everyone, check out Telltale's latest release, Lie Your Way Out EP, drops on March 25th from Rude Records. Thank you guys so much for taking time to talk to me, and we'll talk down the road, all right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Appreciate you, Steve. Thanks for having us.